My name is Danita, and today I'm going to talk about my Lsen experience. So, this is the collage that I had created for my Lsen experience. When I first started my Lsen experience, I had a lot of anxiety in me. I was anxious, I was worried, I was scared. I was so puzzled about what my experience as a teacher with these kids would be. But when I got to the place, it was something completely different. So, as soon as I walked through the gates, I noticed that everything was full of color. So this whole puzzle feeling now became a bit at ease because of the color that I had seen. I initially thought that, I'd only see one type of color or like one type of children or anything. I didn't think that there would be such diversity in the place because as it's public school, things are going to be strict, rules, everything, but it was so different. Also with regards to the ages in the junior primary, in the junior block. Like I expected that it would be only like ages 6 years or 7 years, but I didn't realize that everything wrapped around the whole intellectual ability of the children. So for example, in the junior block, in the junior class, there was a kid who was 11 years old, and he was amongst children of 6, 7 years old. And then they explained to me that, it wraps around the whole intellectual ability of the child. And that's how you know whether they're placed in the junior phase, intermediate phase, the senior phase, or the pre-vocationary phase. I had the privilege of being in the entire vicinity. So basically, I was in the junior phase one day, I was in the intermediate phase one day, I was in the senior phase one day, I was with the adults one day. The adults, by the way, range all the way to 23 years. So let's get back to it. I saw the garden. The garden was so colorful. They had this whole spring theme going on. So every class that I had so much of color, had so much of flowers, had so much of pop-ups. It was so colorful. Like this one class that I went to, they had this whole wall that had a whole feature, like a spring water feature thing. So you just go there, take a selfie with the whole mirror, and it was so amazing. So that was the color. Then I noticed that the children, they practice a lot of healthy eating. So although they're given meals every day, they tend to make sure that even if they're having a pasta with like a mac and cheese or something, they must have a salad with it. Or if they're having rice and chicken, they must have an apple. So I noticed that they're always practicing healthy eating. Moving on to their skills, they don't necessarily always learn about how government children learn or how mainstream learns. They're more skills development based, and that's what I really liked about it. So I noticed that they love beading. So they started making necklaces and hand chains and bracelets and earrings, and they actually gave me a pair, by the way, and it was stunning. I actually use them on my clothes because it's great, So that's the one skill that I learned. Then they also do pottery, and I never thought that one day I'd see someone do pottery because I always thought it was adults and all of that. But these kids with disabilities were doing pottery so perfectly. The way they rub their hands around it, the way they use their fingers to shape and mold, it was so intriguing to watch, So that was the pottery. Then they also have their sporting. They love to do sporting. Like they have their own swimming pool and exercise rooms and all of that, and they're so engaged in their sports. The bigger children, I noticed that they tend to encourage the use of technology. So although the bigger children are doing the field work as well, they have like their own laptops at the back, and they have a special time for their tablets and listening to music, so that they are normal, they fit in with everyone. And it was so fun to actually have a conversation with a 20-year-old about the type of music you listen to. And to be honest, some of the music I don't even quite know, but it was this year's music, So although there was so much of skills, there was also some time for some education. So like with the juniors, they teach them the ABCs and their shapes and their colors and different sides of the flags and all of those things, and what the South African flag is made up of and all of those things. So there's still time for building blocks, they're still getting there. Also the painting, they love to paint. Like the first day I went there was this boy. I asked him, so what are your hobbies? And he came up to me with a drawing book, and he's like, ma'am, this is what I do. And it was so exciting to see that, his drawings were so beautiful. They were so great. It was pencil drawings, but it was awesome. It was so creative. And the way you could see that he's so graceful with his pencil and his shading, and the amount of talent these kids show, it's just unbelievable. And why I put this coloring picture here is because I know them love to color. As big as they are, they just love to color, and everything wraps around that whole child feeling. So yeah, that was my experience at the Lsen, whereby I felt so scared, but after that everything was so colorful, and it was a school of so much skills and so much fun. So I hope, and I was inspired, that one day I feel like becoming an Lsen teacher.